Unified at Work podcast show on the job with Toby, Senior Vice President and Chief Customer Officer at United Airlines, and Jessica, Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at United Airlines. Tune in for an extraordinary conversation about unified employment taken off at United Airlines based on the groundbreaking global partnership with Special Olympics and United. Welcome to the Unified at Work show on Special Chronicles. Toby and Jessica live from O'Hare International Airport.
Thank you, Daniel.
Good morning. So glad to be here with you.
And it's exciting to have you both on the show. So first off, let's begin this live podcast from O'Hare International Airport. We've got a awesome plane behind us. But why don't you both introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us about your brief backstory and job at United Airlines and your connection to our disability community.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. I'm Jessica Kimbrough. I'm our Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer in the role since July of this year, and really excited about talking a little bit more with you today about an inclusion revolution, which is also something I'm charged with doing in my new role.
Thanks, Daniel. First of all, thanks for having Jessica and I. It's a big honor, so really appreciate it. I've been in my role a little longer than Jessica. I've been with United for 24 years. I think I've had 10 different roles, so they don't really know what to do with me at United. But right now, I'm the Chief Customer Officer, which is a really exciting role. I think it's probably my favorite that I've had. I got a lot of passion for the customer, but that means that I get to work with several of great teams, like the flight attendants, the contact center, customer care, customer experience, and obviously the catering and club teams. So, but another title that I have, which is the executive sponsor of Bridge. So I'm really excited about that. It's a great inclusive BRG, done a lot of good, as you know. So I'm just thrilled to be here with you.
Awesome. Well, a question that I usually end a lot of my shows with, but we're going to kick it off, is what does inclusion mean to both of you? And it's a big, in Special Olympics, it's big with our inclusion revolution, and it's big especially with the four of us service ambassadors. But what does inclusion mean to both of you?
For me, inclusion is about really going out of our way to make sure that everyone, all people, feel respected, valued, and appreciated for everything that they bring to the table. And as I mentioned, that's a big part of my role coming into this role. I should have mentioned my full history with United. I joined in 2011, and I've seen us come a long way since I started in our legal department in 2011, moved over to labor relations in 2015, and have kind of tracked United's journey around diversity and inclusion all this time. And I've seen us really take big strides. I think we're ready to take it to the next level and really create a culture of even greater belonging and inclusion at United Airlines, where we have exactly that feeling of respect, value, and appreciation for all people.
Awesome. Yeah, I know definitely all four of us as ambassadors feel exactly that when we come to work every day.
So for me, that was very well said, and you could tell who's the lawyer, so articulate. But for me, inclusion, every time I hear inclusion, I think about our shared purpose. And our shared purpose is, connecting people and uniting the world. And being such a global airline and different cultures and different people, I think it's just so important. We cannot become what we want to be without inclusion. And we're actually stronger. That's another thing that I've seen in my career. If everybody looks exactly like me and come from exactly the same thing, we're not as strong as when we have diverse opinions, and come from different things. And that's very important when we try to serve the world.
Talk about now, as we get a little deeper into inclusion, talk about when you first heard about our inclusive or unified employment program of the full bus service ambassadors. Because we're coming up on October 28th, and now if anybody goes by gate C21, they will see all four of us.
I would say the best way to sum it up is proud. At the time, I would have been a year ago in my role in the labor relations organization and also leading one of our BRGs, U Impact, our women's BRG. And so more of a spectator in the diversity inclusion space at that point. And just remember feeling a distinct sense of great pride working for a company that was leading in inclusion of people with all abilities.
And I spent a lot of times in the airport, so I actually kind of stumble on you. Would you call yourself the original four? out here at the O'Hare last year. And again, like Jessica said, it just made me, you guys put a smile. And I didn't have a mask on then, so it was the good old days. So so you guys really put a big old smile on my face. And then like Jessica said, I felt like really proud of you, but also proud of our company. And again, like just really proud of what we were able to do together, and seeing the smiles you guys are putting on our customers, and those are the small things. We talk about it all the time. Me having customer care, obviously we get a lot of complaints, but when we get compliments, you'd be surprised about how people literally write us letters and emails about the small things. Somebody just helped them, show them directions, gave them a smile, just listen to them and treated them as a human being. And nobody does that better than the original four out here at O'Hare. So thank you for that.
Thanks. Yeah, and we also feel proud also to be here. And that's one of the things that I like with always getting to know the other person's story. So, and even a lot of times we don't have a lot of time to talk with each customer that comes through the lobby, but we even just that small moment, I think, can make a big impact. Now we're going to switch gears and have you, Jessica, talk about the social impact of the inclusion revolution as it relates to United Airlines.
Absolutely. I love that term. It's such a powerful way to talk about inclusion, and it rhymes, so that's a plus. The inclusion revolution is so powerful, and I like to think about it that way. People think of a revolution as a much grander, disruptive event, but I feel like small acts of empathy, and connection on just in our day-to-day lives is really what an inclusion revolution is about. And I love what it means for connecting people with all abilities, and beyond that. Really, I feel like we can think about how, as we go about our daily lives, we can be more empathetic, be more inclusive of everyone on our teams, and as we serve our customers. And so I just think it's perfectly phrased, the inclusion revolution, and we want to be a part of that.
We're proud that United is joining with us at Special Olympics, and even us at Special Chronicles, to really be a true leader in the inclusion revolution. We'll switch gears now. So, Toby, talk to us about how you see this inclusive employment program benefiting the customer experience. You touched a little bit about it, but maybe go a little bit more in depth.
We talked about how some of the small things really help to make that connection, that special little bond with the customer. It's also leading by example. And I think that, again, what I've always said out in operation is that, you want to show people that you're real and treat people like you want to be treated. And again, I think that what Special Olympics has been able to do is to really show the way. And we've actually built some special modules and training programs around the Special Olympics program in the Core 4. So that's how well you guys have done. So again, I don't even look at it as inclusion. It's just like leading by example and by including everyone.
Awesome. Can you give a brief example of the Core 4?
I think that one of my favorite one there is what we talked about before, is that I used to say this a little jokingly, but like God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, that you should listen twice as much as you talk. And I think that we again, like during the Core 4 and some of those modules, we talk about how important it is to listen. Like again, if you go back to some of the complaints, a lot of times it's just people not listening to each other and walking in that other person's shoe and understanding, because like somebody can come in and maybe not be the nicest person right away, but we don't know what they've gone through that day. There's a lot of reasons people are traveling, sometimes for the best points of our lives. We go on a vacation, go for a wedding. We also sometimes travel for really sad things. Like you maybe go through a divorce, you might go to a funeral. So again, like just having that understanding and listening and understanding, like maybe this person we can't do that now, needs a hug, but at least an ear to listen to. And I think that that's what you guys have done such a fantastic job of.
Awesome. Well, Jessica, so maybe talk a little bit about that and really how all inclusive employment program benefits United's diversity and inclusion mission and goals.
I think it's a great example, this program, of what we stand for as a company. We've, for the 5th year in a row, been 100% at score on the Disability Equality Index, which we're very proud of. About a year ago, this program launched, Bridge launched about a year ago. And so we've already done some great things, and where we're headed and where we're focused. We've got 4 strategic focus areas, kind of 4 pillars of our future focus of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's around creating a culture that recognizes what diversity, equity, and inclusion means, and where we're all held accountable and have greater kind of awareness of those concepts, where we look more like the communities that we serve. We want to reflect the full diversity of all of the communities that we serve. And so that's about culture, about representation. The 3rd pillar is about equity and ensuring that as we develop and advance relationships with employees, communities, supplier partners, that we are being equitable in how we enter and advance those relationships. And then the 4th and final pillar is about our reputation. We want to be known as not only a leading airline, but a leading company in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this program hits on all 4 of those pillars, really. And in each of the impact areas that we're focused on, our employees, our customers, our communities, and our suppliers. And so I think it's a great example of excellence and where we want to head with our DEI strategy.
Jessica, how does this groundbreaking inclusive employment program benefit other companies to learn more about the amazing and incredible job United is doing with the 4 Best Service Ambassadors? We talked a lot about how it's groundbreaking, and that's something that we really discovered a year ago with, I know, being asked to apply for this opportunity. We like myself, my dad, and my family, like, we didn't know a lot going into this.
The service ambassadors and United Airlines are showing other companies that it can be done. And not every program is going to look just like United Airlines program, but I think every employer can make an effort to find the right jobs and fit it with people with the right abilities and give them the tools to succeed and really fully contribute at their highest level on behalf of whatever that company's specific mission and purpose is. Here at United, I think we're about connecting people and uniting the world, and our service ambassadors are on board for that mission and kind of boots on the ground doing it every day. So thanks for everything you do.
Awesome, thank you. And Toby, can you share with us what United is doing to make travel experience more inclusive and accessible for people with disabilities?
I think what we've done is we really are changing and redefining accessibility from the inside out, thanks to you guys. So what it's easy to kind of do it top down, and again, like I've been in the industry for almost 25 years. So I think a lot of companies sometimes make the mistake is that they think that they know everything. And what I've seen is that every time I have a meeting with you or anybody else, I learn something. I'm almost 6'3", and when I take the travel journey, it might be different than some other people. And if we're going to connecting, uniting the world and connecting people, we have to be able to serve everyone. I think that's what makes us different. And we're even taking it so far that we also work with what we call the ATAB, the Accessibility Travel Advisory Board. And they help us out too. They can be our sounding board, because even us here, we only have 4 of you, right? So there could be even more input, and we run stuff by them and bounce off to make sure that again, like, we are inclusive to everyone.
Jessica, you talked about it. It's not gonna look just like the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Each of all intellectual disabilities, from me to Lois to Kyle to Z, each of us is different.
Yeah.
And we each have different abilities, different types. And I think that kind of maybe also speaks to this program as well. So share with us, for both of you, we'll begin with you, Jessica, and then go to you, Toby, and share with us your expert tips on that you can give to other companies.
Think about where it fits into your mission, right? And depends on the size and the scale of the company and what it is that they're delivering in terms of goods or service. But there must be roles. Maybe it's one role, depending if it's a smaller company, larger company. Maybe it's even more than we've done here at United. But there are different jobs for people with different disabilities, intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities. And so how can, within your mission, within your kind of existing structure, you carve out, work that you hire for a broader range of people with all abilities? I think it's very achievable. I think we're showing how it can be done here at United.
I think what you were saying, I think, makes a lot of sense to me. I think that we were always evolving. One of the teams that I was part of for a while was CIEO, and they talk a lot about continuous improvement. And I think, again, for us to reach where we want to go, and we got some pretty gaudy goals. I mean, we don't only want to be the best, airline. We want to be the best airline in aviation history. And to do that, we got to continue to improve. We got to continue to evolve. And this is just the beginning. And we got to include everybody to take on that journey.
Awesome. We've got just a few short minutes left. Share with us any final thoughts on your overall time here today on the Unified at Work show and the Special Chronicles show.
I really, want to sincerely thank you for your leadership. And I'd love to see more podcasts and more leaders kind of stepping up and speaking up on behalf of themselves and their communities. I think it's a great example that you're setting. And if we kind of do more of this at United, it just gets us there to that greater culture of belonging and inclusion. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank you and all the BRG leaders and Jessica, all the great DIE team, what they're doing. And I can just tell you this, I think culture is a word that gets kicked around quite a bit, but it's so important. And I also think that it's easy, and I've been on a lot of sports teams, and it's actually pretty easy to be on a team when you're winning.
Yeah.
And when you never have anything go against you, people are pretty friendly and like it. But like when we have tough times, that's when the culture really, really matters. And as you guys know, we've been really, really hit hard with this pandemic. And again, having this culture, having this trust with our people from different background and inclusion, being one team, working to get everybody back to where we belong, which is on top, that makes a lot of sense to me. So thank you for having us, and thanks for being such a great asset for United.
Awesome, and I'm glad that we're united together and that we'll work together on a team to get through this global pandemic. So listeners, you can specialchronicles.com is the place to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Be sure to also subscribe to our podcast. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. I've enjoyed talking with both of you.